Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Shadina Hernandez and today I'm so excited because I'm going to be filming my March TBR video. It is February 28th, so the end of February is here, and for 2026 my New Year's resolution was to read more and upload more onto my channel. So even though these first 2 months of 2026 have been absolutely hectic, I think that March is going to be the month where I actually start putting not just those two New Year's resolutions, but really all of my New Year's resolutions into effect. So I'm definitely going to be hopefully uploading more videos so that you guys can kind of follow along in my New Year's resolutions as well. But anyway, let's get started and I'm going to show you guys my March TBR, which is actually a really ambitious TBR, but I really hope that I can get through it because it's been a long time coming. Okay, so the first book on my March TBR is an Olivia Blake book, and it is Masters of Death. This cover is so incredible. I don't know if, yeah, it's so incredible and it's so gorgeous. I love it so much. I don't know, something about it. It just draws you to you. And it is actually the reason I think that I bought it. And also the art inside is incredible. It's beautiful. And I'm pretty sure there's art on the other side as well. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to read the synopsis to you. And it says, Viola Marek is a struggling real estate agent and a vampire, but her biggest problem currently is that the house she needs to sell is haunted. The ghost haunting the house has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. Fox Demora is a medium, and though he is also most definitely a shameless fraud, he isn't entirely without his uses, seeing as he's actually the godson of death. When Viola seeks out Fox to help her with the ghost-infested mansion, he becomes inextricably involved in a quest that neither he nor V expects or wants. But with the help of an unruly poltergeist, a demonic personal trainer, and a sharp-voiced angel, a love-stricken reaper, and a few mindfulness practicing creatures, V and Fox soon discover that the difference between a mysterious lost love and an annoying dead body isn't nearly as distinct as they thought. So I don't know why I picked up this book without zero knowledge of what it was about. I have never seen this book on Book Talk even now. It's been on my TBR for actually quite some time now, but I never actually got around to reading it. There are some books on my TBR that I've started but have never actually finished. Doesn't mean I DNF them, I just don't get through them because I've been in a massive reading slump. But this one has just, it's always drawn my eye, but I've never actually gone and actually read it. So that definitely makes me more intrigued now that it's actually on my March TBR. I'm definitely going to try and get through this one. There are a couple of books on my TBR that I will show right now that are a little bit on the higher priority before March to be read, but this one is definitely one that I need to get through. Okay, so now the next book is actually a non-fiction book. I believe it's a sort of memoir. I'm not entirely sure, but it is The Pursuit of Happiness by Chris Gardner. And this book, I'm actually not entirely sure what it's about. It says a triumphant modern-day Horatio Alger story based on a life that inspired the major motion picture. The Pursuit of Happiness is a memoir. Yeah, it is a memoir that will have you rooting for the underdog as it stirs you to pursue your own dreams. It says, abandoned by his own father and left to the vicious rage of a mean-spirited and abusive stepfather, Chris Gardner made a vow that no matter what happened in his life, he'd be a committed father figure to his children. Yet even the most well-intentioned would have been excused for breaking that vow if confronted by the challenges that Gardner faced. circumstances that left him and his toddler homeless, living on the streets of San Francisco. But rather than giving up on his son, Gardner continued to pursue his dream of becoming a successful stockbroker. Despite having neither Wall Street experience nor a college degree, now a successful broker and the founder of Gardner and Rich Company, a multi-million-dollar brokerage firm, Gardner epitomizes what it takes to claim the American dream, even when others would doubt you. So it's definitely an intriguing book, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a book that did not call my attention. I'm not a very nonfiction reader. The only other memoir that I have read is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which was an incredible read. It was also a very devastating read, as we all know, especially if you have read I'm Glad My Mom Died. This book is actually an assignment, is due in about 2 weeks-ish, so I definitely need to get started on reading this. I'm also glad that it's an interesting story, and it's, you know, such an inspiring story just from the synopsis itself. So I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm definitely excited to get started reading this one, and definitely need to complete that assignment. Okay, so the next book on my TBR is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, and this is actually, I believe, a trilogy. It is a mystery. I don't really read mysteries like that. I don't think I've really read mysteries. The genres that I usually read is like fantasy and romance, or romantasy. There's really no in between, but I definitely want to get more into reading mystery because it does seem intriguing. I do believe this is a YA mystery, so I'll go ahead and read the synopsis to you guys. Ellingham Academy is a famous private school in Vermont, founded by an early 20th century tycoon for the best and brightest students around. When Ellingham's wife and daughter were kidnapped, the only clue was a mocking riddle listing methods of murder, signed with the frightening pseudonym Truly Devious. Their disappearance became one of the great unsolved crimes in history. Whoa, I can't read. Many years later, true crime aficionado Stevie Bell is set to begin her first year at the academy, and she's determined to solve this cold case. That is, she will solve it when she gets a grip on her demanding new school life and her housemates, the inventor, the novelist, the actor, the artist, and the jokester. But Truly Devious makes a surprise return. The past has crawled out of its grave, and someone has gotten away with murder. Truly Devious is the first novel. Oh, whoops, that part's not really important. But I actually have started reading this one, and it is my second current read. I'm currently in the middle of 2 books, which is also another one on my TBR, but I am still including them because I've kind of left them off to the side, and putting them on my March TBR is definitely going to encourage me to finish it. This book, again, like I said, it's a trilogy, so obviously it's a murder mystery, and I am currently, I think, on like I'm on chapter 2, the beginning of chapter 2, so I am very intrigued. Chapter 1 focused on, I forgot her name, but focused on another character, Dottie, and I believe she was murdered, and then I thought she was going to be our main character, but apparently not, because she was murdered, and then we switched to the POV of another character who is on her way to the boarding school for the very first time, and I'm very intrigued to see how it's going to continue. So this is definitely another priority read. I'm very, very excited to continue reading the story, and it just was so intriguing. I can't wait to continue it. Okay, so the next book that I am going to read is a classic. I have been trying to get into classics for a little bit, but like I've bought a couple classics, just like a couple, really not that many, because I really want to get into reading classics, just to expand my literature genre, and of course, you know, there's so many themes and messages that you can receive from these classical books, which, you know, there's a reason why they're considered iconic and classic. So I've bought a couple, but I am a part of my school newspaper, and my column is about reviewing books, movies, and all in between, really. So I thought that it would be great to do that while also reading my first classic, which is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby is such a classic book. It's also such a staple, I feel like, if you're a reader, to have read The Great Gatsby. I am very excited. It isn't very long, as you can see, and I believe it's like almost 300 pages, maybe-ish, maybe no, not even 200 pages, no. It's almost 200 pages, not 300, but it is very, very small, and I am very, very excited to get started on this one. Okay, so the final 3 books that I am going to talk about are our trilogy as well, but I just happen to have all 3 of them right now. The Divergent series. Okay, the Divergent series, okay, is another iconic, like, dystopian fantasy series, like the Hunger Games. So, yeah, it is a trilogy that I feel like was very popular during its prime. I, unfortunately, was not in the age group of when it released. I don't think, like, I was even a reader during that time. So, definitely didn't cross my mind when these were during their, like, these were in their prime. But I am very excited to read these. I actually want to read these in a video because, of course, you know, first time reading Divergent has to be sealed away forever. But I am very excited. I actually don't know the order that these 2 are in. I know Divergent is first because that's the Divergent series. I'm going to read the synopsis of just Divergent because the other 2, you know, will follow. But the synopsis for this one says, in Beatrice Pryor's dystopian Chicago, society is divided into 5 factions, each dedicated to the cultivation of a particular virtue: candor, the honest; abnegation, the selfless, wow; dauntless, the brave; amity, the peaceful; and erudite, the intelligent. On an appointed day of every year, all 16-year-olds must select the faction to which they will devote the rest of their lives. For Beatrice, the decision is between staying with her family and being who she really is. She can't have both, so she makes a choice that surprises everyone, including herself. During the highly competitive initiation that follows, Beatrice renames herself Tris and struggles to determine who her friends really are and where. Exactly. A romance with someone fascinating, sometimes infuriating boy fits into the life she's chosen, but Tris also has a secret, one she's kept hidden from everyone because she's been warned about it can mean death. And she discovers a growing conflict that threatens to unravel her seemingly perfect society. She also learns that her secret might help save those she loves, or it might destroy her. So, yeah, like, I am genuinely so excited. And also, like, I think it's pretty cool how it has, like, this one, and the other books have one as well. I am very excited to read Divergent, though on my priority list, they're not very up there because these books, because the books that I mentioned, I have 2 that are from the library, so I have to turn them in soon, and I definitely want to get these through. And then, of course, this one is an assignment, so I have to get through these 3 first before I really get into what I want to read. But if push comes to shove, I will renew the books at my library, and then I'll continue just reading what I want. But I do really want to leave Divergent kind of for last because I want to make a video reading Divergent. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy seeing my March TBR, and hopefully I will make a video reading Divergent, maybe Truly Devious, and other books. I also do want to mention that because these books are on my March TBR doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be read in my March TBR or in March in general. Some books I might not be able to get through, and that's perfectly fine. They'll either just get pushed into my April TBR, or I'll just read them some other time. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you guys stay along to see me read some of these books in other videos. Bye!